Hello there, wrestling fans! Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I'm your host, Joe the Panther the Third, and she'll be back. My guest tonight is a very, very awesome individual. She, she, she's something else. She's from Paris, France. She's an awesome wrestler, and she'll be here to tell her story. Really soon. There she is. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to my guest. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys, first of all, thank you for having me. So for those who don't know me, my name is Mila Smidt, and I'm a French professional wrestler. I work all over the world. Uh, that's about it. 25 years old now, and just making waves.
Awesome. So who trained you?
I started first at the IFC back in 2016, something like that. It was my first training was Booster. So Pierre Booster Fontaine is a French veteran, really known in the country who did a lot, and he was his former school. So he had those intensive seminars of it was something like 1 month, like just um full day, like the whole day training. It was like two sessions, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and it was really intense. So I start with this, and but my real mentor, like the guy who like start training me at one of the first to start training me and following me, and who's still doing it is Tom LaRufa.
Oh wow. So what made you go into what made you become a professional wrestler? What some of your inspirations?
Well, so I started watching professional wrestling when I was like about 9 or 10 years old on TV. And it was still like the Divas era with it was the beginning. I think it was already Michelle McCool, Maurice, Eve Torres, Melina, Layla, everything. And there was still like one for me just stood out like right away. It was Victoria, and she's been like my biggest inspiration at first. Like other women were really talented and inspirational as well, but like she really stood out for me because she was like so powerful, so already like more fitness model type, more than supermodel. And I've always been like more muscular girl than skinny. I've never been skinny or anything. So I really like identify myself to her and to her work and to what she was doing in the ring. Um, so she was the first female I got really into watching and who really inspired me. But then besides that, I come from a Olympic wrestling family. So wrestling is in my blood. I've been on the mat since I'm a kid and competing and everything. So I think it's just a part of me and it just had to happen.
Awesome. So let's go back. Go back in time for you. When you what was it like to go through the curtain for the very first time as a professional wrestler?
Wow, this is something I think you can't even put so much words into it because it's something so specific, so particular. Like there's only one first time, so it was. I remember it was a mixed feeling between excitement of finally making my debuts and going into this world of professional wrestling, and as well as I was super nervous, afraid to fail, afraid to do bad, afraid to, do mistakes and everything. And yeah, it was really scary, but it was so good at the same time. It was really a contrast.
Mm. So if if our American-based fans are not familiar with you, like what kind of wrestling style would you consider yourself being?
Um, as I said, so I come from Olympic wrestling, so I would say I'm very technical wrestler. I come like I tried to translate my Olympic background in the ring quite a lot. So I do a lot of techniques from the mat. Besides that, I'm European, so I have like a lot of European style, like strong style. We strike really hard, and I think I'm aggressive. I try like to have a bit of mixed styles just to be very versatile, be able to do a lot of things. But yeah, my background like just takes over.
Awesome. Is there another place in the world or throughout where you're from that you want to wrestle that you have not had a chance to compete yet?
Oh wow, yeah. I've been wrestling in a lot of countries so far, but there's still some I haven't been wrestling in, and I'm really interested into traveling, learning new cultures, like visiting new countries and everything. So as long as I'm in the indie scene, like my goal is to travel the world. So every new country is a challenge and an opportunity to grow and to discover. If I would need to pick, I think I never wrestled in Mexico yet, so I would love to have that experience. I never wrestled in Australia, so that would be cool as well. And like besides that, yeah, every country I haven't been, just bring
Mm.
me.
There's a wrestler in Australia that when she gets back in the ring, I would love to see you wrestle her. Savannah Summers.
Oh yeah, I heard of her. Yeah,
Yeah, you and her would be a really good match, Savannah, or a team. You and Savannah could be like the a
yeah.
tag team. Yeah. Oh gosh, I would
We never
because
know.
yeah, she's one of these people that came to us back in the day when I was still working out as a team with another person, and she came on our podcast and she just came on. We always talk. Oh, we always used to talk, but yeah, she's been busy and stuff like that. So do you have any wrestlers that you've been watching on like social media or YouTube that you want to wrestle that you haven't had an opportunity to wrestle yet?
Oh gosh, yeah, there's so many. Oh my God, like I wrestle a whole bunch of girls and talented women, and it was awesome. And I would love to share the ring with a lot of them again. Um, but I would say like this, like the female division now is really good, and I just want to wrestle everybody. If I would have to pick, I say okay, so in Europe, I almost wrestle kind of everybody. Not everybody, but like a lot of girls, obviously, because this is the main scene I perform in. I would say like the UK is really good scene as well. So if we stay on the indie, I would say I would love to share the ring with Windsor, Lizzie Evo. Lizzie is so talented. I would love to have a single match with my girl Rio because we had like a triple threat already, but like we didn't have a single. So I'd love to share the ring with her as a single match. Gosh, there's so many girls out there. Mako Satomura, I would love to face her. I would love like just to, you know, take a lesson, just learn from her for like being the time being in the ring. Same goes with Lufisto. Every women veteran who's been there in the business for so long, I would love to just go and pick their brain and just learn from them, and yeah, keep on growing.
Gotta. You gotta with wrestling, it's so wrestling you could either go one way or another way, and it's only one, and for you it's gonna be up because you're awesome and you're, as we've said before we were recording,
Thank
you're a belt
you.
collector. So I know because
Yes.
I have had this year, I had Rio on the podcast. So if you speak to her again or you get bump into her, tell her Joe Panther the third says hi. She was an awesome
Yeah,
guest.
I will. I will.
Yeah, there's other
Oh, she's a
wrestlers that
sweetheart.
have you ever wrestled Liz?
Lizzie Evo, you mean? No, I
Yes.
haven't been wrestling her yet. That's why, like, she's on my list because I didn't share the ring with her yet. And I know she's really good, and I've been following her. We've been like last time we were talking like a few days ago about her posting a story about at the sea at the beach, and I was like, my only fear is like I would be only thinking about sharks at that moment. We would
Yeah.
just like joke, yeah, and we just like joke for like 5 to 10 minutes about this. And yes, she's a lovely person, and I would love to really share the ring with her. Yeah.
When you speak to her next, tell her Joe Panther the third. I have been trying to get her on the podcast for at least 2 years. We were supposed to
Oh
have her on,
wow.
and something happened, and we had to cancel. And we've been talking on and off, and then she's been busy traveling,
Yeah.
doing jet setting like she always does, and yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's so complicated, you guys, when we're on the road, like just to have like a moment like, in between the shows, and like, it's always a struggle. But yeah, it's gonna happen.
It finally
It's gonna
happened. You're here
happen.
with me now, so it's even
Yay,
better.
see?
Yeah. So I gotta ask you, with like a week of a wrestling show for you, what is it like? Like schedule wise, what is it like? Like training and
Oh
food
wow.
and stuff.
Gosh, like, it's never the same, you know? It's like indie wrestling. So it's every week is different. Every weekend is unpredictable. Every month is unpredictable. So I would say, I don't know, sometimes wrestle Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes it's Saturday, Sunday, sometimes it's Friday, Saturday. It depends, you know. So you add like one day before or and one day after just to be on the road, depending how long the road is. But let's say I wrestle Saturday, Sunday. I gotta go Saturday morning really early, come back the next Monday in the morning. So the whole week would be like now in France on Mondays I go to Olympic wrestling. That's my I try to keep a foot on the mat just to keep, physical condition, and then I just like help in my family's club just to prepare like the hopes we have, the young guys for the national championship and stuff. So I try like to do technical work with them and keep myself in match shape, I would say. So
That's
Monday
awesome.
will be
So
Olympic wrestling. Tuesday, the rest of the week will be gym. And then maybe there would be like a day in between where I would have just a day off and just do cardio a little bit, just to do cardio and yoga or Pilates, just to do stretching and like my body rest a little bit. And like for the food, diet is on the whole week. So whenever I'm home, like I keep my diet strict and I try like not to have cheat meals too much or anything. Because when I'm on the road, this is where we all know it. This is where the struggle is, and the struggle is real, depending like in planes, trains, whatever, transport, hotels, and everything. It's not always depending on the country as well, and the time we are done working. Most of the time, it's really late at night, so not a lot of things are open. So it's really complicated to find like healthy food sometimes on the road. So when I'm home, I try like my best to just have it good.
yeah. So um what is like your go-to food after a wrestling show? Like what is like what is your like your big tease? Like what is your thing you're allowed to eat after a show on like a wrestling diet?
Oh, so during the week, I'm more like about chicken, rice, vegetables, white fish, stuff like this, just to maintain my proteins and be careful of my carbs. After a show, after like even after trainings or after a show, I'll allow myself to have like a kind of fast sugar thingy. So it will be like protein bar or like sometimes like candies, like small candies. Not a lot though, but
Mm.
just to have like a little bit of sugar right after. Um, but then yeah, it really depends on what is on the show. Because like sometimes you have catering, sometimes you do not have, sometimes you finish early, sometimes you finish late. So it's never the same. I can't really tell you like my go-to thing because it's every weekend is different. So I just adapt and try my best to not eat bullshit
Yeah.
basically, but just to keep my yeah, just to keep my protein good and be careful of my carbs and have my fibers and just like be good, have healthy food. I try my best.
Mm. Are you currently watching anything on like Netflix or Hulu that you're like obsessed with now? Any series?
I've been watching. I'm obsessed with The Witcher at the moment, so I'm really looking forward to the second part of the last season in a few
Yeah.
days. I'm really into this kind of world, like fantastic and everything. Um, Magic and stuff like this. I love like Game of Thrones, Vikings, The Witcher, that kind of world. But I'm watching a little bit of everything. Like just before that, I just watched again like The Walking Dead, and it was great. Like yeah, I'm watching a little bit of everything, but at the moment it's The Witcher.
Witcher's awesome. My parents and I just got to the most recent season because we were doing something. My mom, I didn't have any episodes that day, and my parents are like, "Want to watch The Witcher?" And I was like, "It's back." They're like, "Yeah." You got any shows? I'm like, "No, I'm gonna go watch the show. I'm gonna do the thing with you guys." But you when I ran up the stairs and I started watching The Witcher. So, if
Oh
you
yeah,
could
that's
be
awesome. Love it.
sorry, if you have any kind of power from either The Witcher or a Marvel or DC, what kind of power would you like? Be your choice that you have.
I really like hybrid characters like Cirilla, for example. I feel like they're more like really interesting. So I'm really looking forward to see like what Cirilla can do. Like, having a mix of different things, different powers. So yeah, I'm excited to see what she can do. Otherwise, I think maybe traveling in time will
Mm.
be like something great. Like,
Kind of
yeah.
like that character from Marvel with the lightning bolt over his eye with the high top. What's his name? Charge or whatever his
Oh,
name was.
yeah, I can't
What's his name?
remember.
What's his name? I can't think of his name. He was on Deadpool. He like
Oh yeah, true,
what's his name? What's the
true.
name of
I,
that
I
guy that was
can't
on Deadpool?
remember.
You know
Gosh, I
what I'm
can't
talking about? He
remember.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't remember
he's
his
almost
name.
like
It's been
a time
ages I
traveler.
didn't watch Marvels.
I'm a DC guy, but like Deadpool, it's like Deadpool standing there and going, "Come to the dark side, Joe. You know you like me. You don't like anybody else. These other characters
Yeah.
are phony. You like me."
Yeah, I like
So
I like those funny character like I like those action comedy movies that
yeah,
they do. It's pretty nice. It's been ages I didn't watch Marvels, to be fair. I really like them, but it's just like now there's so many and there's like so many that I missed. So I don't know where I am, like if I need to watch all over again or not.
it's so crazy to think like there's so many Marvel movies, but I love DC. But if DC's watching this, you guys really dropped the ball. Like they made them get rid of all their characters. I don't know if you saw that. The guy that played Superman, they did Thanos to the whole DC universe. They got rid of
Mhm.
the guy that was Green Lantern. They got rid of the guy that was Batman. They got rid of the guy. They're trying to rebook everybody and redo everything all over again. I'm
But
like,
it's not the
what are you?
same. When you get
Yeah,
attached to like I myself when I watch like a show for like first time and I really start liking it, like I get attached to characters. So if they change the actors, like for me, it's not the same anymore. And I'm just disappointed,
yeah. I was like so mad. I'm like, DC, you're making me hate you. I can't. I love DC. No, I love the Green Lantern. No, you
No.
changed me. Yeah. So, my last question for you, unless you want to ask me a question, because that's normally the thing I usually used to do all the time. So, if you have any questions before I end it, anything from me, want to ask me a question, you could ask me a question.
Um okay, let's talk women's wrestling. What do you love watching? What do you expect watching or what do you love enjoy watching when it comes to women's wrestling?
I like to watch one-on-one matches. I like watching one-on-one matches. I do like watching triple threat and fatal four ways and like battle royals, but when it comes to one-on-one matches, I like to watch one-on-one women's matches, either ladder matches or like those street fights. I like to watch a match that I know that I will watch again and again and again and again. And not just one match, you know what I mean? If the match is a good
Mm-hmm.
match, I'll watch that match again. There's so many different like the match with Lita and Trish, the main event of Raw, that match
Mm-hmm.
that will never be topped again.
Oh, you can
Love
watch
Lita.
it all over again, like 10 times in a row. This match was so good.
Yeah, oh my gosh. It's like they were talking about it on something I was watching, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this match is like legendary." So, my last
Yeah, it
question for you.
is.
Yeah. Yeah, so my last question for you. If there was a young male or female, like 18 or 19, that wanted to get in the wrestling business,
Mm-hmm.
either to be a wrestler, a commentator, or a ring announcer, what kind of advice would you give them?
Great Christian. I would say that there's different things that I would tell them that I wish um people would have told me when I first started. What there's some of them, like first of all, like when Tom told me when I wanted to start pro wrestling, because he knows me since I'm like literally 14 years old. Um and I was asking him the same question. How can I do what can I do to get to professional wrestling? And he said, um work on your school, because like, you need to have degrees like diplomas and stuff. Like it's always super important, and don't neglect school. First of all. Second, work on your English. Doesn't matter like where you come from or anything. English is a must have in the business if you want to travel and like work everywhere. Um, then you need to work. It's good to have a background, say like either martial arts in general, like fighting sports, like Olympic wrestling, like me, or like judo or anything. Like those kind of background, like help a lot. And I mean by that a lot. It made me gain so much time into learning pro wrestling and getting in the ring, having my debut and everything. So if you can have a background, it doesn't mean you have to be champion or like compete or anything. But if you can do like several years and have like solid background about those fighting sports, it would just be day and night when you get in the ring. It will help you so much. Um, and then of course work on your physical condition and on your shape, because of course like every body type is great. We need to have every kind of bodies, and everybody is different, but you need to be in ring shape. So you need to be tonic, and you need to go to the gym. You need to lift weights, and not just to look good, because of course it's important, but just not for that, but also to protect your body. Because with the bumps we take and all the shocks we have, like the body that handle, you need to have muscle to protect you. So go to the gym, do not skip it, watch your food, because that as well helps for recuperation and everything. And it's really, really important. Also, one of the other aspects that nobody told me before, and that I would have loved somebody to tell me when I first started, is like you need to be mentally stronger than physically, because you need to get thick skin to just survive in this business. Because like you're gonna meet awesome people, but it's tough business. So wrestling is not easy, and if it will be easy, everybody could do it. So yeah, just be mentally prepared that it's gonna be hard, and you're gonna get through it. And you need to really know why you're here and why you're doing what you do, because they're gonna be hard times. You're gonna be far from your family. You're not gonna see your family a lot, or your friends, or your lover, or whatever. This is the lifestyle you need to be prepared for. Um, this is those things you need to understand when you start professional wrestling, and when you start saying things like, I want to be a professional wrestler, I want it to be my job. Okay, that's great. Maybe you're talented and stuff, but you need to be mentally strong to handle that, because this lifestyle is really, really tough. It's
Yep.
beautiful, but it's tough.
Yeah. I want to thank you so much for taking my opportunity to come on the podcast. It was an honor, such an honor to
Thank
have
you
you
for
on.
having me. It was a pleasure.
No problem. I'm Joe Panther the Third. Your turn.
And this was Mila Smidt from France.
And we will catch you in the next one.